There is a business model, a very thriving business model that employs tens of thousands of people in America. What do? They teach people how to pay less taxes legally. There's even some that will teach people to do it illegally, but let's get away from the illegal part. Let's just talk about legally. People don't want to pay more taxes than they have to. They want to reduce that tax rate. Why? Because they don't associate the services they're getting, the government services they're getting, with the benefits, with those services. So they're learning how to pay and avoid paying more taxes. Let's keep on going. A tax is an extra cost in making a trade. The higher the tax rate, the higher the cost. Thus, a greater disincentive to do the trade. When two people want to trade, there's an overlap, usually, of agreeable prices. Sometimes the prices don't overlap and the trade doesn't happen. But if the tax rate is 10, 20, 30%, that overlap has to overcome that 10, 20, or 30% tax rate. Because if the taxes create a situation where it's not worth it to do the trade anymore, the trade doesn't happen, no taxes are collected, both sides are worse off because they don't make the trade. They don't get the chickens, they don't get the corn, they don't trade whatever they're trading. They don't get employed, they don't make the money. The division of labor is not beneficial because it didn't happen. Let's talk about, we can keep on going on that one. So what do I want to do? I first want to divide government functions into 30 sectors. So education is separate from police, separate from environmental regulations, and separate from the military, that type of thing. I'll show you all 30 sectors. And charge per sector. So you're going to charge per sector so people can associate the charge. So we don't do a big general budget anymore. We want to associate the charge with the services that they're getting so they can see that. So, okay, let's keep on going. Here's the 30 sectors. 5 in the charity system. We get rid of welfare altogether because it does so much harm. 4 in protection system. The military officers, a oversight group, the funding of the military in a free enterprise, competitive way. Half free enterprise, not fully. Look at those videos. The violent crime mitigation system, making the laws, violent crime laws, doing law enforcement itself, the courts, the prisons, and the like, the oversight role. Then you got healthcare, banking, insurance, food, education, manufacturing, HR-related laws with sales. So that's going to be a taxing issue because you're doing sales taxes, and human resources could be income taxes. Identity, environmental, work safety, roads, transportation altogether, media and communication, and land and water. Who owns that? So there's all the different areas of government. If you don't see it in there, it'll fall into one of the groups. In all 30 sectors, we allow 12 different governments to compete to offer the services what government currently offers. So education services, police services, court services, environmental services, military services, capabilities. So, some with more services with higher taxes, some with lower taxes with fewer services. You pick the one that you want. And the lower tax rates and the fees will go along with lower services. So you can pick. Paying for services to every government function you select is better than a large tax and general budget. So I'm not going to sit there and explain that all together, but because you can see where the money's going, you can pick how much services you want. There is a minimum because certain things need to get done. That's what government's there for. Many people resist and try to lower their taxes. So, but that's going to cause directly, where you can see it, lower services, lower trash pickup, lower police services, lower whatever. And you see the exact results. And people are going to say, well, maybe I want to have a little bit better services. Let's pay a little bit more. Let's get that bigger contract. That would not be the case as much. People resisting the taxes if they selected the government to pay the services that they receive. A lot to that, a lot of videos going on there. I explained every bullet point of this in other videos. Go to my website. I have it laid out nicely. Okay. A lot more could be seen at Haley2024.org. It's all about competitive governance. Until the next video.